Hello everyone and welcome to the Archaeogaming Museum, where today we are taking a break from our RuneScape Archaeology Skills series and our series looking at games about COVID-19 and 2020 to look at a game that I've been playing just to unwind and to chill, to de-stress, just sort of my go-to game at the moment. I've sort of included it in my Archaeogaming Let's Play series, but it's sort of more, I guess, of a gaming introduction, and it's a game that I discovered mainly because of my love of the Richard Sharpe series of books by Bernard Cornwell and of course the TV movies. So today we are looking at Holdfast Nations at War. It's actually also a game I found because I had recently restarted playing Napoleon Total War, and it came up as a Steam suggestion. So for those of you who don't know, Holdfast Nations at War is a competitive multiplayer first and third person shooter set during the Napoleonic Era, with a sort of a variety of different battle styles and battle maps with up to 150 players per server, with a great deal of sort of community and modded content, as well as official events, community events. So it's a game which sort of mix a good sort of, well, hopefully a good sort of community spirit and actual organised official events made by the developers. So, as I said, this is sort of an introduction video today. We may actually do a series looking at Holdfast Nations at War, looking at sort of different aspects of it. I have to say my actual historical knowledge of the Napoleonic period is not as good as other eras, mainly my prehistoric knowledge, which is sort of my best knowledge when it comes to archaeology and history, well, not history, prehistory of course. But you know, I'm using this this game and hopefully a new series for the channel as a way of actually exploring and expanding my historical knowledge rather than the knowledge that I've gained from playing things like Napoleon Total War and reading the Sharpe books and watching the TV series or TV movies. So, Holdfast Nations at War is currently available on Steam. It's currently on sale for £7.49 for just the basic game, or for the collector's edition it's £25.16, and there's various other DLC content as well. If you want to find out more about those, there'll be a link in the description of this video. But Holdfast Nations at War. Holdfast Nations at War is an online multiplayer first and third person shooter focusing on a combination of teamwork and individual skill. Take part in historic clashes on land and at sea, waged by the most powerful nations during the Great Napoleonic Era. Charge into battle with over 150 players per server. Fight on multiple fronts. Enlist in the army, work with your comrades to storm enemy fortifications or support the fight from the rear with artillery fire. Keep the line steady in open field battles and lead your men to victory. Join the Navy. Experience what it's like to be a crew member on board a military sailing ship. Raise the sails, launch rowboats, fire the cannons, and cooperate to keep the vessel afloat. Join the Coast Guard. Fend off naval vessels and marine-filled rowboats with chain round and grape shot as they attempt to capture your fortified positions. Guard the shoreline to the last man standing and repel the invader. Battlefield roles. Steadfast men in the ranks and take lead as an officer. Fire devastating musket volleys while standing shoulder to shoulder. Support the fight from the rear with artillery and construct defences, or boldly charge with bayonets equipped. A grand selection of 21 classes to play. With every class comes its own traits and abilities, which are crucial for your team's survival. And then it sort of has some pictures, so you've got officer, sailor, surgeon, line infantry, captain, which are just among some of the classes. Ride to glory. Ride into battlefield with your trusty steed and engage with the enemy with swords, pistols, and carbines from horseback. Mounted, hussar, cuirassier, and dragoons classes quickly traverse the battlefield. Gallop away now as tides of glory await. Warring nations. Take the king's shilling or fight for the emperor in a smoke-filled Napoleonic field battles. Declare your allegiances to the British Empire, French Empire, Kingdom of Prussia, Russian Empire, or the Kingdom of Italy, and strive for dominance over the battlefield. Age of Sail. Experience the thrill of naval combat aboard mighty warships from the golden age of sail. Assemble a crew, take up to the seven seas as you must master several unique ship types, each with their own distinct characteristics. Regimental battles. Enlist with a regiment and rise through the ranks. Partake in fierce organised events where the community battles in formations relevant to the Napoleonic Era. Hone your skills because you can be sure that your opponents will too. Join the community on Discord to get involved. So, very long description of what it's like on Steam. Let's actually have a look at the game itself. Whew. Just going to take a quick drink after that. So, as I said, I've been playing this game quite a bit over the past few days, over the weekend really, and I said I've really enjoyed it. It's one which I've sort of come back to just to chill and relax, and to, you know, de-stress. I'm not really wanting to sort of big battlefield shooters, not modern shooters, NRA, certainly not things like Fortnite or PUBG. They're not really my type of game. This is not like those, though. These are more your sort of classic group team battles, like I guess Unreal Tournament, Quake Arena, if you want to go back to the games I was playing when I was younger, which are of a similar style nature. Halo multiplayer maps, for example, as well. It's a bit more of that sort of thing with a mixture of a online strategy game, just like the Total War games, specifically obviously Napoleon Total War. It is a mixture of both those things. Both of those kind of skill sets do come into play, and there are strong Discord communities that you can get involved with. You can get involved with regiments. We're not doing that for this video because, again, I've not got anyone's permission to record their voices or do things like that, so we're just going to drop into some random matches and just have a bit of explore for this video. That's if we can get into one. We can get into, hopefully, this one here. I think we'll just look at army battlefields ones today, and we'll look at coastal sieges and naval battles another time, assuming I can find a battlefield one which has space. See if we can get in. So there's sort of three main types of battlefield map. You've got sieges, where you've got to capture the points of a fortification and eventually get to the centre and take the centre. You've got essentially capture a flag and hold the flag, so capture territory, hold a point, and then just basically death matches or attrition matches where you fight until you run out of reinforcements, and whoever scores the most points win. We are just waiting now for the next game because they have it looks like we've just come in at the wrong point for this one, as it looks like it's towards the end, so let's have a bit of spectation going on. So again, this one is a looks like this was this an army siege? Looks like it. Fortification siege, looks like it might be. So now they're just heading to capture the last point. Just realized I didn't have the game volume turned up. Now, when you load up the option, you know, it will automatically connect with the game community audio, which I believe is run through Discord. You can turn it off. That's what I've done, just so you know we don't capture anything we don't want to. Other people's voices, things they might be saying. As you know, that would not be a correct thing to do without getting permission first. And of course, there's also a community chat, which I've kind of hidden with my webcam. Again, mainly because, you know, things, just like with all online games, things aren't necessarily always the politest. So I tend to keep it muted. Earlier in the day does seem to be where you have I've observed so far whilst playing the game that earlier in the day you tend to get more serious players if you're interested in the tactics of the game and strategies, and in the evening it tends to be a bit more like your PUBG and Fortnite players who are a bit more just wanting a bit of fun, is to put it, I guess, at its most diplomatic. So, we're just about to jump into a game. That one had just finished. So this is an army battlefield. This is just basically a game of attrition. Got the option of Russia or France. Let's go with Russia. So here are your different classes. You've got an infantry officer, and they all have certain abilities and traits which they can, that they provide for the battlefield, bonuses and things that they're good at. So obviously an officer leads his men to victory, commands ranks and files. They can give sort of orders which help give bonuses to other classes. They can set up flags as respawn points at certain points. Then you've got your line infantry, your bog standard sort of infantry. Good with muskets, good at fighting in lines and in musket lines. Got your grenadier, so, you know, good soldiers, good with muskets, also good in melee. Got your guard, so your elite infantry. Again, they're good in melee, good at range, and they also get certain bonuses, or extra bonuses, for certain things. Light infantry, your skirmishers get bonuses for kneeling and bonus to accuracy. Riflemen always fill up very quickly. Lots of people wanting to fulfill their Sharpe fantasies, I think. And also enjoying skirmishing. Skirmishing is probably one of my favourite roles to do in the battlefield, if I'm honest. Flag bearer or colour bearer. Quite self-explanatory. Carry a flag. Helps improve performance. Drummer, musicians, again, help a support class to help improve the performance of the men. Fifer, same thing. Battlefield surgeon, your healing class. You've got your sappers and your engineers, so they can help construct fortifications and so forth. Got your carpenter, who's good at demolishing barricades and explosives, and your cannoneer, you know, your artillery experts. So that's a very brief. Unfortunately, you can't look at the ones which are greyed out. You can't click on them just to see what they're like. So we're going to go as some light infantry for this battle. We'll play 1 or 2 battles for this video, I think, and see how things go. And also, obviously, you've got your cavalry. There doesn't seem to be cavalry in this particular battle. So you've got your generally light and heavy cavalry. And sometimes you've got rocket troops. And also some sorry, it's hard to concentrate, and oh, hello, sneaky night attacks. I say, yeah, that's it's a hard game to try and comment on, and I'm not good at commenting and playing games such as this, so do bear with me. So some nations do appear in some battles not to have some troop choices available to them, but appear to in others. Not sure why that is. I mean, obviously there were, you know, nations during that period were particularly known for certain types of troop choices, so it may be a reflection of that. And from my knowledge of the period, you know, the uniforms all look pretty decent, as do the weapons. The exact patterns, again, that's something I'm not so up on that. I'm really not doing good today at the moment. Or indeed the regiments. I imagine the regiment... Actually, I don't know. Again, I've not really looked into that side of things, whether the regiments which are listed under each type are genuine regiments from the era. Again, I'd have to look into that. Or you can look into it if you like. You know, might do a bit more for the next video. Something I really do like about this game is they did include the support classes such as the flag bearers and the musicians. And although they can be fun to play, and I do like playing them, you know, I'd rather be slightly more combat orientated. But they do have a great selection of tunes. I'll demonstrate that maybe either later on in this fight when I've died a couple more times and I switched class. But you can, and it's all sort of well-known tunes from the time. I do know that the tunes are reasonably accurate as tunes that were played on the battlefield. For the English, for example, or for the British. So you've got things like Scotland the Brave, the Grenadier March, the Rogues March. Things like, I'm not so sure if God Save the King is actually on there. Really dislike night battles, mainly because of where I sit currently in my office. It's not great with the natural light, and I need to get some better blackout blinds or blackout curtains. So there's a slight glare issue. But I think the thing that I enjoy really, as well as the sort of the Napoleonic setting for this game, something I really enjoy about it is you've got to be a lot more tactical in how you play it, unlike, you know, in sort of modern games where people sort of go berserk and zerg all over the place and just charge and shoot, when you've only got a firearm that you can fire about 3 times a minute. You've got to be a lot more tactical, you've got to be a lot more careful. Of course, you can still kind of go berserk and charge with your bayonet, if that's your thing. What's quite nice, again, all classes can use cannons and sort of these grasshopper or galloper guns here, but the cannoneer and the artillery specialists always get priority over it, so they can come and interrupt you when you're trying to aim your cannon and take over, which is, you know, fair enough because, you know, that's their role, but is, you know, a bit annoying when you've got a shot lined up. I'm not very good with the cannons. Not doing very good at all at the moment. Haven't hit a single person. I never claimed to be good at this game. I just like to make that clear. I never claimed to be good. The explosions are quite impressive. That rocket explosion is quite nice. The graphics are great. I mean, it's a game. It's a reasonably new game. It came out in 2020. I think it's about September time. And I said there is a sort of, there does appear to be a very large community involved. Lots of community matches. The developers also do sort of events which are slightly more based on historical battles and historical. Well, historical battles and historical events, be it naval battles, sea battles, things which are a bit more organised, things which are, as I said, the sort of regimental style battles. But it's both nice that you've got the community-led ones and sort of developer-led ones, and they're sort of merged together in some as well. Might have to get a little bit closer. Oh, hey, my first kill. Damn, you wounded him. It's got 93 reinforcements remaining, and we are currently losing quite badly to the French. And it's dawn. That was a quick night. And we're kind of being surrounded at this windmill. Don't know why I decided to come in here. Thought coming here was a good idea. Yeah, just walk straight in front of my musket shot. Pardon me. That was a terrible shot. Just doing fine before I press record, honest. So performance anxiety. Let's be a hero. Okay, that failed. Charging in with sword bayonet drawn did not go well. So let's take this opportunity to show you, change our spawn, and let's go in as a fighter and show you sort of what the musicians do. So although musicians are armed with a pistol and a sword generally, or a sword bayonet. Actually, I think it's more or less a proper saber. So here, you know, you've got the choice of various tunes you can play. So we are Russian. Someone else is already playing God Save Us All, so we'll. We've now run out of our reinforcements, which means as soon as we're all dead or the time runs out, that'll be the end of the match. So we've got 5 minutes. Matches last about 20 minutes. So here we assist. So we get points here. How we gain our points is by generally assisting with the kills by providing bonuses. You can tell who you are currently giving bonuses to as they appear as sort of purple. Their icons are purple on the minimap. They are purple triangles. So I'm just help improving morale here with my fellow soldiers holding this wall in a last ditch attempt. Just about to be charged by the French. Oh, flag bearer's dead. Colour bearer. And we're being flanked. At least I'll get a shot in with my pistol. And then that's me out of this round now. So we didn't do too well in that round. I personally dislike the night battles, mainly as I said at the moment, the glare for the night battles from where my current setup is not great. So that makes it a bit more difficult. But I said this game, you know, for me, its main appeal is I was a big fan of the, or still am a big fan of the Sharpe series of books. A big fan of the TV movies as well. And often I actually listen to the audiobooks when playing this game as inspiration. So we've got 2 kills and 5 deaths. Well, we'll do better in the next battle. So this one is an army conquest. Be Prussian this time. Let's join as a rifleman. And again, it is very different from sort of modern shooters out there, you know, where, you know, it's a bit more crazy. I mean, obviously you've got elements of things like Fortnite, where you can build fortifications and things like that. No storms, luckily. The map doesn't shrink. Or anything like that. But I mean, it's just a sort of classic style battleground, basically. Multiplayer battleground shooter. So the army conquest battles are, you know, essentially 3 points to capture. You get points for capturing and holding position, or capturing the flags, essentially. Capturing and holding the positions and raising your colours in defiance of your enemy. Yeah, don't all cluster together, because if they've got cannon, unlikely to have cannon, but if they can just aim at the group. And then we'll be a bit stuffed. No. You can sometimes get, as well as the sort of the chat, the voice chat and the in-game text chat can be a bit interesting and maybe not suitable for all ages. I'm not entirely sure what the filter are like on some names, because some of the names are potentially slightly distasteful. So I'm not entirely sure what level of filtering they've got there. But I mean, the mechanics are quite simple. You move with the WASD keys. You hold down the right mouse button to aim, left mouse button to fire. Or in melee, use left button to attack, right button to defend. Nice and easy. In theory. There are things you can do as well. You can shout patriotically with the B button. There's various emotes or gestures you can also do. And certain classes have certain abilities, as we mentioned. Some can give orders. I wasn't paying attention. Again, trying to... some can give orders, some can construct fortifications, and so forth. So, in terms of... and also you can switch to first person using C button. Of course, you can change the key bindings, like with most games, if you want to change it up. Gestures, I mean, you can sit down. Waving. Point. Don't know why it keeps on jumping back into third person for that. What were the other gestures? Oh, and surrender. You can surrender. Not that stops people from killing you. But there you go. You've got those are your emotes, essentially. I'm actually, in a way, you know, this is... I thought this would be a more of a niche sort of game, and, you know, accidentally shot the barricade. Thought I might find it difficult to, or it might not be as busy as I thought it would, you know, it being reasonably... having a sort of a, I say niche historical setting. I mean, it's a period of history that lots of people are interested in, but that, with a shooter... which makes it very different from other shooters. I'm just surprised about how, I guess, popular it is. But pleasantly surprised and pleased. You know, there's always games going on, pretty much any time of day. I mean, sometimes they are a little smaller, but you can always find a game. And sometimes it's very difficult to get into a game, unless you're part of a particular community. I mean, some community games are open for public, some are sort of private regimental clan battles, I guess, if you, whatever name you want to give them. I mean, here more appropriate would be regiment, but of course, you know, depend what kind of gaming experience you come from. So yeah, you know, I thought it'd be, you know, because it's a bit more niche. But I think actually, in a way, it works a lot better as a shooter, because you've got to be a bit more tactical, it's a bit more thoughtful, a bit more, in a way, a bit more cooperative than a lot of other games, even then sort of team games in, say, Fortnite or some of the other modern shooter games. I mean, I could just be, you know, because I'm an archaeologist, I automatically prefer games which have a historical setting. I mean, some historical settings potentially don't work as, you know... potentially don't work as games. I can't think of any off the top of my head. That's a good question. Let me know in the comments if you think there are any historical periods which won't work well for any, well, gaming. I mean, obviously, shooter games before... well, I mean... how the heck did I manage to miss him? Well, okay, I say before, you know, projectiles were one of the very first tools we invented, in essence. But, you know, would a prehistoric sort of hunting bow and javelin shooter game in a similar format to this work? Are any good ones out there already? Am I just not aware of them? I mean, obviously, there are modded games for various things, but I mean, actual developed. Right, let's try and focus a bit more now on actually who we're killing the Italians. And yeah, we are actually losing. The trouble is sometimes with conquest people get so caught up in just trying to kill each other. You know, they kind of ignore the objectives, so it makes one side makes it much easier for them to get a lead. And some of the objectives, once taken, are really hard for the other team to take, so it's really a matter of who gets there first. Not so much here, because most of these are quite open, but some of the ones where one of the sides are, or one of the points are a fort, for example. That can be really difficult. So yeah, what unusual shooter games out there do you know of, especially ones with sort of historical setting? Let's not run into the spikes. Any actual prehistory ones? Oh, got killed by a cavalryman. Again, not doing very well today. You need to get better at narrating and playing. So about halfway through now, and yeah, we are really, really not doing great. I mean, some people are very tentative and approach with caution, which sometimes is good, but sometimes, just like actually during the Napoleonic Wars, you've just got to chuck regiments and men at a problem until it works. You know, sometimes you just got to have that do that, otherwise you'll never take these objectives. You can stand there and skirmish and snipe and do that. I mean, and you definitely need some people doing that, you know, as distractions and to support in fire, but you also need to have good old brave souls to go up and stick it to them with bayonets and close quarter firearms. That's not what I like doing though, so that's why I play skirmisher. Much rather stay on the outskirts, snipe where I can. No zooms on these guns either, so you can't rely on that. You've got to really have to work out height, angle. Height and angle, well, yeah, height, angle, distance. Their speed. Where they're going to be when the bullet actually reaches them. A lot more to it. And as I said, one shot basically every 20 seconds or so. At maximum, if you're just literally just firing in volley fire. As Sharpe says, what makes a good soldier? The ability to fire 3 rounds a minute in any weather. And under any condition. Pretty much. So, see if we can take A. So we've captured A. That's not going to be enough though to win, but it makes it slightly less of a embarrassing defeat. Let's jumpy. So that's someone on my team. Let's not shoot him. Although friendly fire or friendly damage is off. It's not been so represented in the last couple of games we've looked at, but the artillery really does have the right kind of impact. You know, it's definitely makes you duck and cover, and is quite loud. That artillery, not so much, but certainly the rockets, although not massively accurate, if you get a lot of them going off at once, they are, especially when used in the right kind of circumstances against sort of large groups of people clustering in one area, can be devastating. Ah, got me. Well, took 2 of them down and injured 1. Not bad for a lone charge. I mean, if we can take C and hold them, we still won't win, basically. But, you know, at least if we can hold them for 3 minutes, it will won't be quite so bad. So we've got some rockets going off there. But trouble with rockets, a lot of smoke. And again, that's what I quite like about the, you know, it's realistic in sort of the amount of smoke that's generated. It makes it really hard to see what's going on. That's quite an accurate depiction of battle from this period. And there we go, Italy won. Italy won. So, I think we'll give it maybe one more. And maybe we'll try actually performing better this time and doing better. Like I've been doing before we started filming. Honest. And maybe we'll try a few more different types. Yeah, no cavalry in this one. Oh, that side anyway. Let's join as a cavalry. I'm honest. Cavalry is my worst, I think. So it should be fun. I mean, cavalry's always fun. Ooh. Oh, that filled up. Everyone wanted. Okay, so it won't be cavalry then. Spear cannoneer. Also, probably one of my worst. Let's help with the moving. So we're just moving the cannon in position. I don't actually have to do anything now because he was doing it all for me. Very kind. I mean, cannon, being a cannon is basically an excuse just to stand back and observe. I mean, here we're kind of working in teams of 3, which is, you know, quite accurate. Teams of 4 or 5. Sometimes depending on the size of the gun. I'm mainly just keeping watch. They're doing all the hard work. Want to observe. So you've also got things like you can look through a looking glass or telescope or looking glass to observe. Can't actually remember what button for that is. G. Oh, there we go. G. Equip spyglass so we can have a good look at what's going on. And again, if we were in a community and we were sort of had a proper artillery team, we could communicate where to angle the artillery. And now the sort of artillery guys have... Oh no, yeah, abandoned. They're still there. Looked like they'd abandoned it. But I think I'm going to go and find a cannonade or grasshopper gun or something, chaser gun somewhere to operate instead, because I prefer the smaller artillery pieces. Bit more close quarters, bit more fun, and as I said, artillery is really not my thing. Now there are often ones up in the windows that aren't here, but good sniping opportunities still. There will be a cannonade probably on that barricade down there. I think I actually just tried to shoot one of my own side, which is not desirable. Have we? Oh goodness! There you go, I just got shot by an enemy's cannonade and Galliffer gun. It's not what we want. Not what we want at all. I mean, really, they're not going to achieve much with those large cannons over there, just firing sort of a solid shot. Rockets, possibly, but I guess, yeah, the cannons themselves maybe don't have the best sort of representative impact, potentially. But then again, it's good enough. So let's use this cannonade, hopefully, before I get killed again. Actually, any enemy to do it against now. They've all sort of moved. Summon that house. Come on, man. Load the gun. That's not going to work. At least we're forming an orderly line. Oh, we've got another cannonade as well. I mean, cannons here are quite good, because even if you're not actually... Even if you're not actually hitting, at least you're providing covering fire. And it's something that keeps people's heads down whilst you... your infantry or cavalry can go in and mop them up. Of course, something we need to be aware of as... as artillery is keeping out on flanking cavalry trying to come round, or indeed flanking infantry to take out the emplacements, because that's a reasonably good tactic. If people getting tired of you blasting cannons down their way. No, I think that then might all be a bit far away to hit the cannon. They've got a gun up there as well, which we need to dissuade them from using. Yo! Did he get his gun on point? Come on, show yourself in the window. Or was he killed? Ah, missed him. So, yeah, really not doing much at all in this game. But I mean, there you go, that's quite accurate of a actual battle as well. Ah, he was just a split second ahead of me. Happened earlier, again before we started recording, where we both shot each other. So that's sort of, I sort of wanted to be, but no cavalry. Yeah, that's a shame. Line infantry, light infantry, grenadier, or guard. Also be a surgeon or fifer. Already sort of done musicians. I've not really played as a carpenter or sapper, but yet really, and not really my kind of thing. I think I might just be some line infantry. Let's get down there with some bayonets. And charge forlorn hope against our enemy. Charge! And also, yeah, you've got two weapon profiles, melee and range. You can just switch by, well, pressing whatever button you assign to that, but the default is X. And I just realised I was running up at this bit without my ranged weapon profile raised. Fights across these rivers are always interesting. Oddly, oh no, fortifying the bridge. Good. Again, bridge battles can get quite interesting. When you sort of just have two fortifications of musket lines and artillery fighting each other over a bridge. They could either be really interesting fights or really boring, depending on how people decide to play them. I think we may do one more battle after this. Oh, no, that's not a bad drop. See if we can get a siege. That would be good. Because with these kind of random battles, you kind of get what's going. I quite like sieges, both defending and attacking. They can be both quite interesting. Especially on some of the maps where they essentially become sort of street fights. Sort of very sort of guerrilla tactics style street fights. So here we have an officer who's offering orders, so we all get bonuses. This line here is a firing line, so we get bonuses for firing in line. And we run... oh no, the French run out of reinforcements. So now the general tactic that people like to go for is just charge them and take them out quickly. Whereas, you know, I just much rather, you know, hold back and still shoot. Because, I mean, they've still got an objective to try and achieve. They'll still try and come... sometimes they do retreat and try and draw you in. So I guess in that instance you kind of do have to fire them, but wait to see what happens. Basically, that's what you need to do. See what the enemy does, and then act to respond accordingly, rather than just. But I mean, it is more fun just to charge at them. I mean, certainly from a game perspective, obviously not necessarily from a tactic. But it said, you know, many battles were won during the time period by just throwing men at the situation. Columns and columns of men, or lines and lines of men. See what works. What are you doing, soldier? Why are you standing there? There's no use hiding. Got him on the run now, lad. Let's finish him off. Let's get stuck in. I know I said what I don't tend to do, but you know, it's fun to mix up. And also, if we wipe them out, then it's quicker to the next game as well, rather than just 4 minutes of us basically been doing what we have been doing for the past almost 20 minutes. So basically now just heading and running towards their spawn point. Which is probably over here. Woohoo! You can actually still kill people after the 40 out of 72, well, you know, that's not bad. You can still kill people after you've actually technically won, but it doesn't count towards your score. Army battlefield again. Ah, okay. Although this isn't a siege, this sort of has a hill, fortified hill, palisade defense, but still, you know, has aspects of a siege. So let's go and do that. And certainly for the Salamanca map, everyone tries to go for this hill. And it becomes the sort of main contested point. I say the majority of people tend to focus their attention on the hill. Try and capture that, because from there you can kind of, if you can fortify it and you can keep it, you know, if you get a few skirmishers up there with good ranged weapons, you know, you can pick people off quite happily, especially for the sort of attrition warfare style of game. But also, it's actually quite big, and actually not that, it's quite easy to sneak around it if you're trying to assault it, especially cavalry. So, you know, has its advantages, its disadvantages. That house also, these 2 points, this bit and that sort of fortified courtyard and house, farmstead I guess it is also the points that people tend to try and hold. Not so much the one over there. Not entirely sure why. Fight Will, which one's Will, sir? Very unlikely to be able to hit the guy over there, but you know, deterrent or potentially incentive. Either bring them closer so we can shoot them properly, or keep them away so we don't have to shoot them at all. One or t'other. What do we think? You sneaky, sneaky people. Sticking close to the bridge and on either side, advancing up that way. Don't be doing that now. No, rockets. Which is not going to do anything at all, just kind of impacts. Right. Ah, glanced Glancing blow. It's not what we want. But then if someone else kills him, get an assist at least. But it's not about your independent scores, everyone. It's about the team and how we perform as a team. Just because you're not hitting or killing doesn't mean you're not being useful. That's what I like to tell myself anyway. What's going on over there? Oh, nice shot with the cannonade. I'll respect that. Have we got any other spawn points at the moment? No. No. Before I lose my rifleman position. Spent a bit of time to lingering above cover there. Mainly because the other rifleman came up and tried to steal my position. Although two in that sort of watchtower. Probably not bad. One can fire whilst the other reloads. Support and cover each other. Oh, do we have a nasty? And by that I mean animal cavalry? Enemy cavalry. Don't know what is wrong with my words today. Not enough to drink in general. And by that I mean both water and beer. Really. That's why I've drunk a pint of water just whilst doing this video. You don't want to challenge me to a duel. Can people not be challenging each other to duels right in the middle of a combat scenario? No, crikey. That was... Now we're going to see how difficult this place can actually be to assault. As well as defend. Because it's both. Ah! Did not see him there. People complaining in the chat about stealing kills. It's like, it's a team game, everyone. Okay, when you have limited shots, you know, calling out targets can be quite useful, especially as skirmishers, so you're not everyone always aiming at the same person and then, you know, potentially losing kills because you are not coordinating your shots, but still, it's still a team game. Individual scores do not matter. Ah, cannonade. So drop, if you get cannonade, someone cannonade on that emplacement, you need sort of two parties to go up over the side of it and try and take it out. One of them's likely to get demolished by the cannonade, or by the galloper gun. The other is might succeed. Depends what kind of supporting fire they have. It's actually be a bit more skirmishy and a bit less line infantry, like I have been doing as I am actually a rifleman. Although this guy's coming right towards me. Thank you for whoever shot him. He's dead. Oh. Woo! So yeah, let's be more skirmishy. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Right, we've got some guys up there. Can I take one of them out? Bit too high. We've only got 11 minutes left of this battle, and it's Prussia's winning, but it's not a massive lead. It's recoverable, especially if I start being more sneaky. The trouble is, though, if you get so fixated on trying to take this point, you can lose, on an army attrition match, you can lose a lot of men very quickly and very easily if it doesn't go right. And sometimes it's worth almost just giving it up and trying one of the other fortifications and drawing men out of that fort, because, or if they keep them there, then they're not doing anything and they're not a threat, and you can whittle down their reinforcements by killing the other. And then if they draw the men out of the fort, then potentially you can then recapture it. I'd say generally, although it is fun, if you're being a bit more competitive, it might be worth just leaving the fort entirely and working in the other areas, just because any form of siege on a fortified area is costly. Oh, fair play to you. So with that advice being said, I think I'm going to go and join one of the other different fights. Now, many also keeps it more interesting. So, the scores are both increasing but staying relative to each other, so we're not really gaining anything. So here, I think, is actually where the battle should be won or lost. Which is slightly more unconventional warfare, but trying to take the hill, I mean, we weren't doing a bad job, but it did cost us a lot of, I don't know if we regained it or not. We were trying to regain it, and we were doing not a bad job when I was last shot, but that can turn quickly. Let's throw the colours. Protect the colours. Protect the colours. Oh, crikey. Let's get in there. That flank looks secure, although that's never a safe assumption. This flank is now crumbling. Looks like we lost the fort. And that's where they're pouring men in from. Or out from. Ah. Looks like that flank crumbled. Or advanced too far beyond the other line. In sort of random games like this, it's funny because you're trying to bring order to what is almost naturally a chaotic environment, which is a random a random game, basically. You know, it's not necessarily an organised game. I mean, people could be organised and go on Discord, but not everyone chooses to go on Discord, and of course we're not. Oh, I released my load too quickly there. We've lost. We have no more reinforcements, so we've got to be a bit more careful now. Can I get one more kill? Probably not. What's best now is for me to charge in with my sword. No, can't get one more kill. Well, that was depressing. Yeah, that was depressing. Well, we'll see how this match turns out. We've got a group of men here bravely defending this rock. It's probably where they're going to... Oh, no, not making their last stands there. They are going to make a run for it. Let's do a bit of commentary. So, yeah, down to your right is what you're going to want to be careful of. Are you just going to run at them? What are you doing? It's got this group here who are still running, but they've still got the Prussians on their right flank. And I imagine what usually happens in this case is when people find this position on the map, they go and fortify a house on the top floor and try and hold it for as long as possible. Which is not necessarily a bad way of doing it, but I mean, definitely has its disadvantages. Mainly because they will just find out eventually where you are, most likely, and just takes a lucky guy or a very skilled guy with a bayonet or a couple of people to come in, and we might as well make a heroic class stand. Be brave, my comrades. Show them what you've got. Show them British steel. Die with honour. And oh, you're making a job. You're making it difficult for them. But no, that is quite typical of what happens in these matches. Is there someone still? Is there anyone still alive? No. GG, Prussia, GG. Yeah. That was also depressingly bad on my end. So, well, do we do one more? No, I think for now... Well, actually, let's just disconnect and see what else is... See if there's anything interesting happens, and then... But I think we're going to call it there for today. I said this really wasn't much of a Let's Play, really. It was more of a, here is a game that I enjoy playing at the moment. It's a period of history that I like. It's not a period of history that I am particularly confident with my, well, maybe more specific knowledge on, like the regiments, the exact weapon patterns and uniform designs. You know, those are really bits which I would love to know more about, but finding out more information about it is a bit more, well, there's lots of things I want to learn more about. It's just finding time to go and have a look at it. I haven't actually done much research into the development of this game yet, so I think we will do another video on this and maybe explore maybe some of the coastal siege stuff, maybe some naval battles, and maybe see if we can get in some other because it's all just battlefield or conquests at the moment, no sort of sieges apart from the coastal siege. See if we can get in some more different types of games and explore what those are like and how those were approached, and maybe come up with some good historical examples we can talk about as well. So I'm going to kind of using this as an introduction to a series that I want to do, and as a give me a motive, give me a kick up the backside to go and do some more in-depth research into a period of history that I really enjoy but don't know as much as I'd like about. So that's it for this video. Thank you for joining me. Sorry it's been a bit not really that necessarily informative from an Archaeogaming point of view, but hopefully you got some form of entertainment from my hilariously bad show of it in those games that we played. Promise that's not necessarily representative of how I normally do, although I'm not brilliant at the game, but I normally do better than that. So thank you for watching this video. Might do another video on this sometime this week, but we will be continuing to look at the RuneScape archaeology skill just once I've decided how I want to approach the next stage. We will be looking at some more games inspired by COVID, and we will have some other content coming up very, very soon. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please think about pressing the like button. Please think about subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. And please leave a comment, say hello. Any game recommendations similar to this, and at different areas in history. I don't tend to like modern warfare shooters so much. That's not really my area, not really my thing. But historical shooters, depending on the history, it's good to have a look at those and see how that is represented. And again, we will look at, in more detail in the future videos on this at how it's represented in the Napoleonic Era, the regiments, the weaponry, and the fighting styles, and yeah, more things like that. But this was just well, it's supposed to be a brief introductory video. It's now over an hour. So yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care. Bye.